15, slot right, single receiver, Hester to the left. Press coverage, snap to Haney, throws it over the middle. Intercepted! Intercepted! B.J. Raji in the end zone for the touchdown! NFC Championship dagger! Blitz is on, Rodgers scrambles left, winds up Rainbow. He's got Cobb at the 10 to the 5, to the end zone, touchdown, and a dagger! Aaron Rodgers ducks it under center, drops to a knee, and time melts away from Super Bowl 45. The title is back in town. The Green Bay Packers are world champions of football.
The Wisconsin Sports Trilogy presents the Packers Trilogy Podcast.
Heyo, Packer fans, what's going on? Welcome to the Packers Trilogy Podcast presented by the Wisconsin Sports Trilogy, the podcast for diehard Packer fans by diehard Packer fans. I am your host, Trevor. You can find me on Twitter at Bender_Trevor. And as always, you can find our podcast on Twitter at Trilogy_pod and on Facebook and YouTube as well. We are the Wisconsin Sports Trilogy Podcast on both of those platforms. Today, we have another video breakdown for you, and this is one that I feel like is long overdue because I went through the first two games of the year against the Vikings and the Lions, and I feel like I had more than enough in terms of clips to put a full video together. Now, I did add a couple clips from the Saints game as well, and it actually just took me like 2 or 3 defensive possessions for the Packers to get enough clips for him. I got 2 more from that game. I didn't put any in from the Atlanta game because I felt like he's playing well enough that I didn't need to go that far, dive that deep, because Jaire Alexander has been incredible this year. And I just have been astonished at what he's been able to do. He's keeps taking those steps. You know, I think PFF has him as one of the top corners in the league, and rightfully so, because he has been great this year. And this first play I want to start out with is not something that he has typically been great, or not what he's known for, but Packer fans know him for this type of play, right? You know, he goes and just blows up the play. We saw it against the Vikings last year or 2 years ago when he blew up that Thielen Diggs wide receiver screen. And on this one, and he's admitted that this was a mistake. He shouldn't have done this, but he thought he was reading run, and it wasn't. But he made the mistake full out and got a huge play in this game. And what I felt really changed the game, you know, get that safety, and it was all Packers from there except the fourth quarter. Moving ahead to this next play here, you're going to see Jaire make a great play. Be in perfect position. Now, I think Kirk Cousins helps him a little bit on the throw. You're going to see it here. Just, he throws it behind the receiver. Cousins got to put that towards the sidelines and let Thielen make a play. But again, you watch this. He's at the top of the screen. Good position on the out route. And even though Kirk Cousins makes a bad throw, he still is in position and makes the play like he should, and he does here. And he does that a lot, being able to make those plays. So, again, 2 huge plays in that Vikings game. Here you're going to see him, again, not really what he's known for, but you see him mug that wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, at the line, and then he does actually fall, but he is in on the tackle and makes a good play here. You're going to see it here from this end zone view. There you can see him fall in there, but he's roughing it up, you know, willing and able to make tackles in the run game, in, you know, screen plays. We'll see that a little bit later as well. But that's just who Jaire is, and it is fun to watch as Packer fans, and hopefully he starts getting a little bit more respect around the league. And I think with PFF, you know, naming him as one of their top corners, he will. Look at this play. Ball's not thrown to him, but I just wanted to put this play up a couple times. You know, on a streak route, Adam Thielen running up the field. You know Kirk Cousins is looking there, but Jaire with just perfect coverage. And a good job in off coverage, something where I feel like Jaire is just better in press man. But in that instance, he does a good job being an off. He's an off man again here. And knowing the situation, knowing who he's covering, that Kirk Cousins is looking at him, breaks hard on that route, on that comeback a little bit. Obviously, the ball doesn't go to Thielen and Jaire's guy, so not a huge momentum type play, but just good coverage. And that's what we've seen, and that's why quarterbacks don't throw his way. Now we're moving ahead to this Lions game. Jaire coming in coverage off because they do I think the Lions did this a lot. It's because they send Marvin Jones in motion that makes Jaire have to be in off coverage, and he knows what's happening, and he explodes on the ball and makes it a very minimal gain. He allows the catch, yes, but he's in perfect position, and you can't ask for much more, and he does make it tough on Marvin Jones there. Here, which what should have been an interception, I'm sure you guys know exactly what play we're looking at. He jumps the route a little bit, just unable to make the play, but again, perfect coverage. You can't say this is a bad play for Jaire. You know, he makes the play, the ball just gets tipped up, and it happens to fall in the receiver's hands. That's not Jaire's fault. I think he had a great play here, and he has continued to be phenomenal, just unfortunate circumstances to allow a catch there. But overall, I thought he played phenomenal in both these games and really all year. Here on this one, again, knowing where the sticks are, did a pretty good job of covering that little fly route. It was a comebacker, and by the time the wide receiver got there, you know, Jaire had it covered good enough that Matt Stafford couldn't go there. So not insanely great play in terms of like he's making all the interceptions, all those types of things, but just consistently good coverage. And here's another good example of it. This is third down. And yes, Matthew Stafford ends up getting the first down, but you can tell Matthew Stafford is looking at Danny Amendola. And if you watch that game, you know that because Danny Amendola was just wrecking Chandon Sullivan on third and shorts, especially early in that game. Jaire breaks right there. Stafford's looking for him. He sees Jaire break. Watch this. Covers him. The linebacker's there as well, and Stafford's got to tuck it and run. And yes, Stafford gets the first down, but Jaire breaking on that route immediately, knowing that's where Stafford wanted to go, made him not be able to throw that ball. And if you're able to get Stafford a little further back, then that's a great play. This one, I am sure you guys have watched this. This is a great play. Tyler mentioned this on our full-length podcast. Just incredible stuff. Off coverage again, where again we see this in motion to get Jaire in off coverage, and just phenomenal stuff. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. You'll see it here in slow motion. Just barely gets his hand out, doesn't interfere, just perfect trail coverage, and goes at the ball and makes the play when he needs to. And again, not interfering on that play and making it a clean play and making a very hard play to catch for Marvin Jones. So great job here from Jaire. I loved that play when it happened. And this one, I believe, was 2 plays later. And it, again, nothing spectacular. The ball doesn't go to him, but just look at how he's blanketing this receiver. There's no chance for Matthew Stafford to throw that football, and that's why he doesn't have a lot of highlight reel plays this year, because he's having this type of coverage. Here on this play, third down, comes off of his man, realizes what's happening, comes off his man, makes the tackle a yard short. Just a phenomenal job. Sees it, boom, comes off of his man and gets down, makes the play, causes the fourth down. I'm extremely impressed with his awareness, with how he plays. That receiver just doesn't come back to the ball. It's probably a first down, but Jaire does a good job there. And this play I absolutely love. This is one of my favorite plays, and this reminds me again of that Thielen Diggs wide receiver screen a few years ago, where he just, when he sees it happening, when he sees these types of swing screens or bubble screens, he blows them up. Doesn't give him a chance, and he's a really good open field tackler, especially for a corner. Just great stuff, and you saw it in the Saints game that the Packers couldn't tackle Alvin Kamara, but look at Jaire, just a perfect tackle, doesn't allow Kamara to get any sort of yards after the catch. Great job reading, reacting, and making the play. I mean, Jaire Alexander has been incredible, and I could have put more film on here, more of those plays where the ball isn't coming his way, but he's still in sticky coverage to make sure that the ball doesn't come his way, because that is his job, and he has done a phenomenal job of that this year. I have been extremely impressed with what he's been doing, and I'm excited to see how he continues to grow, how this defense continues to grow, because I think that's going to be a big thing. I think Adrian Amos has room to improve. He hasn't been the same player we saw last year. I think Darnell Savage, if he's got Jaire Alexander on one side and Amos gets a little bit more steady like we're used to, he can start doing a little bit more playmaking. Preston starts showing up. You get Kenny Clark back. Hopefully you get Rashawn Gary back pretty soon. Hopefully this defense starts clicking a little bit more. I think the run defense is still going to be an issue, but I also think this pass defense is something to be wrecked with, especially if they start getting more and more production from those pass rushers up front, because that's going to free up Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage, Jaire Alexander, and Kevin King to make all of the plays. And Jaire has been phenomenal this year. I think Kevin King has been really good this year as well. So I'm just really excited to see what this defense can do. And with this offense, all they have to do is make a couple stops a game, and this offense can carry them for a vast majority of this season. So as long as 12 is healthy, as long as this offensive line is healthy, and this defense continues to play good, solid football, hopefully improves a little bit in the run game, this is going to be a tough team to beat. And I'm just super excited to get off of this bye week so we can watch some more Packers football. As always, make sure you guys are continuing to check out all of the stuff we do. The best way to do that is to follow us on Twitter at Trilogy_pod. You can follow myself at Bender_Trevor. You can follow my other hosts. Tyler is the host of the Brewers Trilogy podcast. You can find him at Tyler Kurth. And Scott is our Bucks Trilogy podcast host. You can find him at Vanilla7Gorilla. As always, find us here on YouTube. Find us on Facebook, where you'll see all of our content. But until next time, go Pack Go.